I've just read some Blacksad comics and wow, was I amazed by the first two. This is the first one and this is the second one. These are both two separate stories, by the way. Hi, I'm Annie, and it is Eurocomic Thursday. So every Thursday I talk about a European comic or graphic novel, as you may very well know by now. And these two Blacksad comics, well, I was just blown away by not only the illustrations but also by the stories. So this is really an ode to the 1940s, 1950s noir noir film noir kind of when noir was in cinema, but also in novels, and now in a graphic novel. Comic also. So most of these stories are about detectives, and Blacksad is also a detective. But what makes it really fun is that all of the characters are a part animal and part human. So Blacksad, John Blacksad, is this half cat, half human kind of character, and he is this really gritty noir detective. So in this first issue, Blacksad's girlfriend, this first issue, this is the Dutch edition, but the first issue is called Somewhere Within the Shadows. And in this story, Blacksad's ex-girlfriend gets murdered. And although Blacksad is warned not to stick his snout into the police investigation, he is determined to find out who killed his ex-girlfriend. So I found it's some sort of classic noir kind of story. And I found this just excellent. The second story, the second album, is Actric-Nation, and this story is set just after the Second World War, and in this story it's set in the UK, but the white animal/humans have taken over and are ruling over the UK. And in this story, a teacher of little school children asks John Blacksad to investigate, to find out where one of her missing students went to, what happened to this missing student. And this is a real grim story. It is really well, but it never gets really depressing. It's really an ode to the 1950s noir. Both stories are written by Juan Diaz Canales, and they have both illustrations by Juanjo Guarnido, who also did the coloring, by the way, and he did on both occasions, on both illustrations and coloring, an excellent job in my opinion. It is really the illustrations are really realistic, and the colors are a bit muted. I don't know if that's the right word, but that only gives the atmosphere, a gritty atmosphere to the story. So I can show you some of the illustrations. Yes, you can see the colors are a bit muted. But it is although all of the characters are half human, half animal. The coloring is really, the illustrations are really realistic. Like for example, well, like you can see here, the illustrations are really, I think they are excellent. Yeah, I think, but going back to the stories are very, very well developed. The characters are very well developed also. And the characters are really three-dimensional, and they have really depth in it. And I found both stories, the first one and actric-nation, the second one, they have really interesting plot twists and turns in them. I found that just the pacing of the story, I found also really, really, it has a good pacing. It's never really flying off the page, but the pacing is steady, and there are steady plot twists and turns in it, which keep me reading and keep me entertained. It is really an ode to the 1950s noir, and Diaz Canales isn't really isn't avoiding sensitive subjects, sensitive topics, I must say. Like there is really gritty violence in it, and there is, especially in the second one, it touches on the theme of discrimination, as Great Britain has become some sort of, well, Nazi regime, you can say, where white animals take important positions in government, and they are more important, and they are discriminating against the black-colored animals. So they think those animals are inferior. Then there is, of course, the theme of the topic of social injustice, and that is in both of them. So I found that really interesting as well. And yes, what can I can show you some of the illustrations of actric-nation, which again are great. These are really, really, I found I can highly recommend Blacksad. I think the series is 7, there are 7 issues, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you can get them in English separate, one story for every issue. But I also think there is, I don't know what to call it, 3 stories in one graphic novel. So the first 3 stories in English are also available in one graphic novel. So I can if you like noir, then I can highly recommend this Blacksad series. Well, keep reading those European comics, and I hope to see you in the next video.